Hey guys, my name is Blake Stidham and I'm a special education teacher at Hamilton High School in Hamilton, Alabama. And today we're going to be discussing something that's very important, and it's an issue not only at my school or at your school, but it's prevalent in schools all across the nation: bullying and suicide.
Bullying comes in three forms: verbal bullying, social bullying, and physical bullying. Regardless of the type, this always affects the victim in negative ways and can sometimes have dire consequences. According to a 2022 survey that was conducted by the National Center for Education Statistics, 19.2% of students in grades 6 through 12 are experiencing bullying on a daily basis. This means that 1 out of every 5 kids are facing the negative consequences that are associated with bullying daily.
As bad as that sounds, the truth is that students with disabilities are at a much more increased risk of being bullied than their general education peers. One study found that students with ADHD were up to 50% more likely to be bullied than those of their non-ADHD peers. Students with learning disabilities and autism spectrum disorder were up to 3 times more likely to be bullied than those of their general education peers. Also, in another study, it was reported by 83% of adults who stammered in their childhood that they were bullied on a daily basis.
It is important to note that the negative consequences of bullying often affect students with disabilities more than it affects students without disabilities. Students with autism spectrum disorder or Down syndrome struggle with social interactions, and they often do not understand why they are being bullied. These feelings of inadequacy come from constant bullying, and they can lead many students to believe that the only way that they can take back control is by taking their own life. The rate of suicide for students aged 12 through 18 is rapidly increasing and does not show any signs of slowing up. Between 2000 and 2018, the suicide rate among students rose 63.5% according to the American Psychology Association. This trend is also applied to students with disabilities. People with disabilities are more likely to report suicidal ideation, suicidal planning, and suicide attempts than those without disabilities.
As I've said before, this information is extremely concerning, and it leaves many people wondering what can be done. How can we prevent the suicide risk from continuing to increase, and how can we protect our students? Well, the first step to that in preventing suicide would be to prevent bullying.
If we are going to put an end to the ongoing bullying crisis, we will need all hands on deck. It is our responsibility as adults to supervise these children and ensure that they have access to a free and appropriate learning environment wherever they are, and they are not teased or taunted. By opening this dialogue and communicating effectively with our children, students, etc., we can reverse this trend of bullying and ensure that all students are welcome in a safe learning environment. Suicide prevention should be considered a top priority for people all over the country. The best way to prevent suicide is to be aware of the warning signs that a student is exhibiting. As parents, teachers, administrators, and adults, we should prioritize communication with our students and build rapport so that they feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and feelings with us. There should be a super concerted effort to watch students with disabilities, as many of them do not possess the ability to advocate for themselves.
As stated in the beginning of this video, the issue of student bullying and suicide is one of the most concerning issues in our nation, especially for students with disabilities, as they are at an increased risk of experiencing both bullying and suicide. So what can we do as adults? Well, one of the best things that we can do is make sure that we provide resources to those who are struggling with both bullying and suicidal thoughts and ideations.
One of the best resources is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which is available 24/7. All you have to do is dial 988 and they'll put you right on the phone with a trusted individual who will help you talk through what you're feeling and what you're thinking. There are also good support group sessions that can be found online, as well as websites containing information about suicide prevention, such as the National Institute of Mental Health and the Suicide Prevention Resource Center. There are always local resources such as churches, trusted friends, and family members that one can rely on too.
Thank you for coming to my public service announcement about the dangers of student bullying and suicide. If we will continue as adults to advocate for these students and work towards preventing bullying and suicide, we can provide a safe learning environment for all students, disabled and non-disabled.